In the Happiness Project, Gretchen Rubin embarks on a year-long personal experiment to explore what it truly means to be happy. At the outset, she feels like she's doing well in her life. She has a loving family, a successful career, and good health, but she notices that she isn't as happy as she thinks she should be. She is curious about how she could intentionally make her life feel better and more fulfilling. After reading books on happiness, psychology, and philosophy, she decides to dedicate an entire year to systematically pursuing happiness. Each month, she focuses on a different theme, tackling specific areas in her life that could be improved to bring more joy, peace, and satisfaction. The book is structured around this year-long project, which takes the reader through each month of Rubin's journey. But it's not just about what she does, it's about her reflections on what works, what doesn't, and what she learns along the way. In the first month, Rubin tackles the foundational aspects of happiness, such as boosting energy and enthusiasm for life. She starts small, making incremental changes like going to bed earlier and being more organized in order to free up time for the activities that bring her joy. She also focuses on gratitude, something she feels can have a profound effect on one's outlook. Rubin realizes that happiness doesn't just happen, it's something you must actively cultivate. By the second month, Rubin dives into her relationships. She focuses on improving her connection with her family, especially with her husband and children. Rubin examines how small gestures, like being more affectionate or listening more intently, can deepen relationships. She acknowledges the importance of maintaining positive interactions and being present, which she learns can have a significant impact on both her happiness and that of others around her. The process is far from perfect, but she finds that being intentional with how she engages with loved ones creates more warmth and contentment in her daily life. As she moves through the months, Rubin's project becomes more personal, as she begins to explore other facets of life that contribute to well-being. In the third month, she tackles work and leisure. Rubin looks at how her work life impacts her happiness, noting that fulfillment doesn't necessarily come from achievements alone but from the joy of the work itself. She strives to find ways to bring more enjoyment into her professional life, but she also emphasizes the importance of rest and having downtime to recharge. This balance of work and leisure becomes a central theme in her journey toward happiness. It's not just about productivity but about nourishing both body and soul. In the fourth month, Rubin focuses on mental and emotional health. This month is all about cultivating a positive mindset and learning to overcome negativity. She realizes how much of her happiness is shaped by her thoughts and attitudes, and how easily she can slip into patterns of self-criticism and worry. Rubin works on changing her perspective by practicing self-compassion and actively reframing negative thoughts. She explores how meditation and mindfulness help to quiet the mental noise and create space for calm and clarity. By the middle of the year, Rubin's happiness project starts to feel less like a self-help experiment and more like a new way of living. She's finding that the process itself has brought her deeper joy, and many of the habits she's developed are beginning to feel natural. However, she's also learning that there's no quick fix. Happiness doesn't come in a neat, packaged formula, it's a lifelong pursuit that requires constant attention and adjustment. One of the most profound realizations for Rubin is that happiness doesn't look the same for everyone, and it's essential to figure out what brings you joy, rather than trying to adhere to societal expectations. In the following months, Rubin broadens her focus to include more creative aspects of her life. She makes time for passions that she had neglected, such as writing and pursuing her long-held interest in classical music. By allowing herself to be more creative, Rubin taps into a deep sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. She's surprised to discover that doing things purely for the joy of it, without any expectation of reward, is one of the most powerful contributors to happiness. The simple act of creating becomes a meaningful and restorative part of her life. As Rubin continues her project, she also becomes more attuned to the idea of living with purpose. She explores how giving back, being kind, and fostering a sense of community can enrich one's life. Throughout the book, Rubin draws on a variety of psychological studies, quotes, and personal anecdotes to illustrate her points. She highlights the importance of finding a deeper meaning in life, whether it's through service to others, pursuing your passions, or simply engaging in activities that bring you closer to your authentic self. Another essential theme of the Happiness Project is the idea that happiness is a choice. Rubin emphasizes that while external circumstances do affect one's sense of well-being, much of happiness depends on how you respond to those circumstances. She advocates for being proactive about your happiness, not waiting for things to magically improve. Through her own journey, she learns that taking responsibility for your own joy and making conscious efforts to nurture it can lead to more profound and lasting happiness. By the end of the year, Rubin has made significant progress. Her relationships have deepened, her professional life feels more fulfilling, and she's learned to embrace the small moments of happiness that make up everyday life. But perhaps the most valuable lesson she learns is that happiness is an ongoing process. It's not about achieving some ultimate state of bliss, but rather about creating a life that feels meaningful, balanced, and full of small joys. Rubin admits that some of the changes she made are easier to maintain than others, and she continues to experiment with ways to live more joyfully. In the final chapters of the book, Rubin reflects on how the project has changed her. She doesn't claim to have found all the answers, but she has learned a great deal about herself and the pursuit of happiness. Her journey isn't over, she continues to refine and tweak the elements of her project to fit the changing seasons of her life. She encourages readers to start their own happiness projects, using her experiences as a guide but not a rulebook. She emphasizes that happiness is deeply personal and that the process of finding it is unique for each individual. Throughout the book, Rubin blends humor, practical advice, and insightful observations with a refreshing honesty about the challenges and setbacks she faced. Her storytelling is engaging and relatable, and the book itself serves as a reminder that happiness isn't something you can just stumble upon. It requires intention, effort, and a willingness to grow. While Rubin's project is specific to her, the lessons she uncovers are universal, offering a roadmap for anyone who wants to live a life that's more in tune with joy and fulfillment. Ultimately, the Happiness Project is an invitation to reimagine what happiness means and to take proactive steps to cultivate more of it in your life. Rubin's experiment shows that even small, seemingly insignificant changes can have a profound impact on overall well-being.